Hello, my name is Hope Albornoz, and you are watching or listening to Mikey's Untitled Music Show.
Welcome to Mikey's Untitled Music Show, guys. Today, we are trying to get into the musical mind and where the creativity came from Miss Hope Albornoz. How you doing, Hope?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for being on the show. Really appreciate it. Really excited to talk to you. We had a mutual friend send me a link to one of your lives, and I saw it and I watched it the other day, and I was like, damn, I really need to get her on for sure. I have to get her on. I'm really into acoustic sounds, acoustic songs, unplugged versions of songs. It's one of my favorite things. One of my favorite sounds, actually, is that acoustic sound, and I really love your voice. So, can you tell us about one of the earliest memories, or maybe not earliest memories, or one of the times you remember when you first started becoming, uh, or working creatively with music?
Yeah, so music has like always been in my life. I live in Nashville, so it is the music city here, and
Yeah.
my mother, she raised me on country, gospel, rock music because she did a lot of music herself. She
Mhm.
toured with Tommy Cash, which is Johnny Cash's brother. She went on the Opry, and she's just done a lot of music. And I looked up to her a lot, and I wanted to be like that. I wanted to pursue music, and it was just like a dream of mine, and it's always been a dream of mine because that's where I find like that's my calling. And I didn't start writing music until about 6 months ago. And yeah, so
Oh,
it's
really?
yeah, I'd say roughly like 8 months ago maybe. Um, and I actually wrote her a song, and that's kind of what kickstarted me like writing in this whole world I didn't know about. And
Hmm.
I was like, wow, I love this. And I've written like over 20 songs now, and I just really resonate with that. And yeah, I just remember like when I was younger, just being in the shower, being in my bed, being, at church, being in school. I would pretend I was on stage all the time. And I would just like pretend there's people watching me, and I was just singing for them. Everywhere I go, I'm still that way. I just love performing, and I love everything about music. So it is my life
How long have you been playing the guitar?
since I was 13.
Since you were 13? And what made you want to pick that up? Was it just well, like your mom is a singer, so I kind of I want to be like my mom kind of thing?
Well, she never played guitar or
Oh,
anything. She
okay.
plays piano and she sings, but um, that is a good question. I don't know what drew me to guitar. I guess it's because I was inspired by a lot of rock and blues sounds, and that is what, is the main instrument is a guitar. And
Hmm.
yeah, I just sort of picked that up when I was 13, and I'm 20 now, so I've been playing for about 7 years. Um, yeah, mainly acoustic, but I can play electric sometimes.
What made you just want to like finally pick up the pen and start writing? Like you said that you said you just started writing like music lyrics 8 months ago?
Yeah, yeah. I think it was I listened to a lot of folk music and country as well,
Hmm.
and there was a few artists like Neil Young who writes most of his music. And I was just sitting on my kitchen counter one night at like 3 a.m. and I just had my notebook and I had written anything, and I just was like, what does this chord sound like? And I just started playing with the chords, and then I just kind of matched the lyrics with it, and then it just became a song. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just wrote a song. Like,
Hmm.
I really like it. It's a good song. So I ran downstairs and I told my mom, and I just cried, and I was like, hey, I wrote you this song. And She was upset. She was like, "Why are you waking me up? It's too early." And I was like, "I wrote you a song. Just hear me out." And she loved it. And she was like, "Hope, you wrote that?" And I was like, "Yes." She was like, "You sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I
You
did."
sure?
That's kind of what kickstarted everything. She goes, "Write me another one." So I wrote another one in like a day, and then I just started writing and writing, and I literally won't leave my room until a song is finished. I will finish a song always, and if I have the thought, I have to write it down on my phone or my notepad or something.
That's beautiful. Um, so I'm guessing this first song was Dear Mama.
Yes.
The first song that I listened to was Dear Mama as well. Very powerful stuff. Very powerful stuff. One of my like, Mama, I wouldn't want to be like anyone else. Those flaws are perfect to me. Like it's beautiful how like somebody else can see the beauty in us when we think that they're flaws, right? We think that, um, well, like for example, one of my flaws is that I can kind of talk too much to random people. Um, it's not really a flaw. It's just like I can talk to somebody and it kind of just takes the time. You know what I mean? And I'll forget what I'm doing, kind of thing. But you know, I've had people come up to me and say, that conversation really helped me.
Yeah.
And like you don't really think about that. You don't really think about what other people really really see in you, right? Like you don't really see that. So, um, like was that the first you just thought I want to write a song about my mom kind of thing, or is that just the thing that came out first?
So, me and my mom sing at our church here, locally in Hendersonville. We're like right outside Nashville,
Mhm.
and we sing together a lot. Lunch afterwards, and we were sitting down for lunch, and I don't know what kind of came up on this conversation, but she had just said like, "I have no confidence in myself, Hope. I don't want you to end up like me. I don't want you to have no confidence, and I don't want you to not believe in yourself because that's how I am. And I'm so hard on myself," is what she was talking about. And I was like, "What? Like how?" I look up to her so much, and I was just like, "How could you say that? Because you're such a great mother, you're such a great friend, you're such a great person. How could you say that about yourself?" And that like stuck with me the whole night. And later that night, I had written "Dear Mama," and I just was like, "Hey, those flaws that you have, they're perfect to me, and I wouldn't want to be like anybody else. And you're perfect just the way you are, and you don't need to be so hard on yourself." And that's kind of what inspired the song.
Um, was there like like a genre, an artist, something that when you were younger, it kind of just, or not even when you were younger, like for me, I always tell people one of the songs that really opened up my musical mind and my musical life is a song called "The Spy" by a band called The Doors. I don't know if you've ever listened to that song.
Whoa, you said the Doors.
Yeah.
What? I'm sorry, I was so caught off guard. That's insane because that is the band that literally started my musical obsession.
Really?
That is like Jim Morrison. Are you talking about Jim Morrison, the
Yeah,
Doors?
Jim Morrison, The Doors. That's
Oh
right.
my gosh. Me too.
Oh, that's awesome. Hell
That's
yeah.
pain. Oh
That's
my.
funny. Yeah, like the first song that I listened to from them was Light My Fire, of course. You heard that in like all the skating videos and all that kind of shit. And and yeah, I remember my friend put on The Spy for me.
Oh my gosh, that's insane.
So you know that song, you know The Spy?
Yes. Hmm.
Okay, so not a lot of people that I've interviewed so far have known that song, but that blues and the guitar and the ooh, it's just I we were listening to it. I told my friend, yeah, light my fire, right? And then she goes, no, 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 you have to listen to this. And so that brought me, so I listened to that and it just like blew my mind away. And I was like, oh my God, like there's, I can't believe there's music like this. So that brought me to like Crystal Ship, 5 to 1, Alabama song. It brought me to like all of the Doors, all the different Doors like hits.
Wow.
And and then that brought me to the Beatles, like Eleanor Rigby, Day in the Life, like all those kinds of like different, not the popular Beatles. I mean, I guess you could say they're all popular songs from the Beatles, but
Hmm.
not the most known. But that's awesome that the Doors was also one of. Can you tell me about it?
I was literally when you said like musical influences, what started, my mind went as soon as like the Doors. Because my mom showed me the Doors music when I was like 12, 13. And that's what like literally kickstarted everything. When I heard Jim Morrison's lyrics and voice and performance, like the way he like drew people in when he was performing, like
Oh,
could
hell
have
yeah.
been talking about, trees, but people were just so into that. And I of course saw the movie, and I thought this is so interesting because before I my musical genre was very limited. I listened to, in my opinion, not real music, just a bunch of mumbly jumbly stuff. It wasn't like I listened to the quality of the music. I just listened to whatever people listened, what was
Yeah.
popular. But it was like that just opened my mind to like this whole world, like the Doors, like, whoa, there's sounds in there I've never heard, like Raymond Zarek's organ,
Hmm.
Robbie Krieger's guitar sound. I mean, it was so cool. And um I don't know, Riders on the Storm's like one of my favorite
Oh,
songs ever.
hell yeah. It's so
It,
good.
I think they only made what, like 6 albums?
Something like that. It wasn't very well, he did die pretty young.
Yeah. And it's like if they had done more, like, oh, there's no telling what else would have been in store for that. But yeah, definitely The Doors was what started it. And then of course Neil Young, Bob Dylan, like those artists, Johnny Cash. Yeah, I love that. So
Yeah,
that's
I
Doors. I'm still shocked. You
no,
could have
me too,
so
me
many different
too.
than you said the Doors. Like that's
Yeah, and I'm grew up pretty much the same as you. Like I went to church as a kid, also went to a Christian church, and there's not a lot of music outside of their religion, right? They're like because it's of the world and whatever, whatever.
Mhm.
But you know that so I had the radio. That's what I had. I had the radio and I had the cassette tapes that my uncles had, my aunt had. I had the CDs that my uncles had, that my aunt had. There was like that was pretty much the only form of discovery of different music that I knew. But that was also like Metallica and like yeah, like Metallica, like Top 40, like Guns N' Roses, like rock that you would listen to, popular classic rock now that you would listen to on the radio back in the day, right? Like that's what I would listen to. I would get into I really like the alternative stations where you could listen to like Smashing Pumpkins, you could listen to like Sublime, and you could listen to like all those different kinds of bands also that weren't really on the main radio station. But yeah, that's awesome. Like, but it didn't take me until I was out of high school to really, to really go and find different music. My sister, she's a big ska fan. So Sublime was like I remember she played, what was it? I think it was a song Seed. I had never heard the song Seed before by Sublime. And I was like, "Oh shit, who's this?" And she's like Sublime. And so that was kind of like in the same time where I listened to The Doors. So um yeah, it's funny how we get our influence and where we get our music from. That's but yeah, that's really awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah, and Led Zeppelin's up there too. I love
Oh
Led
hell yeah, Led Zeppelin.
Zeppelin, for
The
sure.
first time I listened to Dazed and Confused. It actually wasn't in the movie. I mean, it probably was in the movie, but I didn't really pay attention. It
Mm,
was also after high school. Like that was part of Led Zeppelin. When I found Led Zeppelin also, that was in that, in that time.
yeah.
Like
I think it's funny because I was literally 12 when I started like such an odd age because like
uh-huh.
I should be listening to like Taylor Swift or something, and I'm here listening to the Doors album. People are strange, like
Oh yeah. I mean, that's one of the best albums like of all time
yeah,
to be like
yeah.
definitely. Um, is there like a particular song that has like a special meaning to you from them?
From the Doors.
Yeah, or not even from the Doors, just like a one song that really like my favorite song is it's called Alive in the Glory of Love with the Glory of Love by a band called Say Anything. They're more they were um like a ska band. I guess kind of like a ska band kind of vibe. But yeah, that's one of my favorite songs and it's just a great love song. Is there one song that, kind of resonates with you?
Mm, that is a really hard question because there's so many great songs out there.
Oh, yeah.
Um, hmm. I mean, I guess obviously I heard Something in the Orange by Zach Bryan,
Mm,
and I listened to that. I was at the beach at the time, and I was sitting on the like patio, and I'd never heard the song before, and it came on, and I just really loved that song, and that was before I had, started writing or anything,
mm.
and uh, I just was like, that's really good. And then, then I got into Tyler Childers, and then I got into, I've always been in Neil Young, and he played Old Man. I don't
Mm.
know if you know that song by Neil Young, Old Man.
Um, I if I listen to it, I've listened to a lot of Neil Young, but I mean, I don't know. I'll probably if I listen to it, I probably know it.
Yeah, he has an unplugged version of Old Man, and he's just sitting there with his guitar, and the performance was just super, super cool. And I was like, man, like I want to do that, like so bad, like just me and my guitar singing, and like just like that. And so I guess there's not like a specific song, but I can like on the top of my head, I'm like, oh yeah, that song really hit, at that time for me. So.
Have you ever listened to there's an old MTV series called MTV Unplugged. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. If you haven't yet, there's a performance by Nirvana.
Mhm. I know that one. That um, I forgot, but I think it was lithium maybe
That
or
album,
as
I
you.
I I um, I'm not sure what album it was. I'm not sure if it was an album or if they were just playing their songs, but I believe it's like a 30 minute to like an hour concert kind of thing. But yeah, if you like acoustic, if you like live, and you haven't watched that from start to finish, I really recommend that concert. It's amazing. So after a song like Dear Mama, you said that you started like you have like 20 songs that you've already written. What you have a song like Dear Mama, which is really good and really personal. Um, like how do you start your next song?
um just like in general.
Yeah, yeah.
So I usually write the music first and then the lyrics second.
Mm,
So I'll just be sitting down and I'll just be playing some chord progressions, seeing, "Ooh, that sounds good. I like that. How does the strumming sound?" So I'll do some picking, and then I'll try to use the situation I'm in. So, like, what am I thinking lately? Am I stressed right now? Am I happy? Am I like in love right now? Am I going through a lot right now? How do I feel? And then I'll just kind of put that with the chord progression that I did and make a song. So,
You said you've written 20. How long does it usually take you to write a song? Does it just depend on or do you try to like okay, I'm gonna have a song done right now, like today. It's gonna happen.
I can do a song like in an hour. Like if they're like, "Oh, write me a song right now," I'll be like, "Okay, I can give me an hour and I can do what I can." But if I want to like really put a lot of thought into the song and really a lot of meaning and just make sure it's like finished and like I'm happy with it. I mean, it'll probably take like a day for me to like get it to where I want it, but I could write a song in an hour. But I just feel like that's really rushed, but I could do it. It's possible, but yeah, I'd rather just like take my time and not be rushed because I absolutely hate being rushed when it comes to things like in school when I would take tests, hated it. I hated being test or timed on my test. I just
Mm.
feel rushed and I feel, confined. So, but I could do it in an hour.
What do you think it is about music that makes it so universally appealing for everybody? Like I feel like you can if you I feel like you can put somebody like in a room or a group of people in a room and not really play and just like play a song, right? You can play a song, play music, and you'll have at least if out of 10, you'll have at least four people kind of moving to the music, or at least one person, right? And
Yeah.
then if that person, doesn't really like it, the mood of the crowd or the mood of the people in the room because they're all enjoying that music, it'll start bringing everybody together, right?
Hmm.
Um, what do you think it is about music that, why that happens?
Well, music is a language. I mean, it's a language everybody knows.
Mm.
You know, you can play a minor chord and minor a minor song, and you're automatically thinking of mellow, not sad, sometimes sad, a very deep thought. And then if you play major chords, then you're happy. You're thinking of something happy, and it's just a language. And I think that's everybody can understand it, even though it might be in a different languages. Music is a language in itself.
So what has been the ultimate purpose of music in your life?
Oh man, you got a little more than an hour. No, I mean, I can go on and on about how much music means to me and how much it has helped me and through every situation I've been in. Um, I literally listen to music 24/7. I'm always either writing, singing something, or like playing something or thinking about doing it. And that's when you know you have something. Like that's when you know it's a calling, is when you can't stop thinking about it. You go to sleep, you think about it. You start eating, you think about it. You wake up, you start thinking about it. That is when you are passionate about something. And that fire that you have about in something, you don't need to let that go because that is something special and that a lot of people look for in something. Whether that's sports or academics or, military or, whatever it may be, you just have that calling to something. And that's, I feel like music was supposed to be in my life, like since I was young and in my blood per se.
Mm.
But I just, yeah, I know that it's a passion of mine because I get so excited when I finish a song. I want to show people and I just want to really like hear this because I want to leave that behind, I want to leave that what my emotions were like and what my feelings were like and in hopes it helps people out with whatever they're going through. um I struggle sometimes with some mental health things and anxieties and ultimately music helps me get through all of that, and when
Mhm.
I felt alone, I had my music. I had, like Jim Morrison says, when music's your only friend. I had that at one point, literally. And that's what's gotten me through most of my struggles and I'm very thankful for it and I just want to have that and I'll always have that in my life. And yeah, I definitely think it's a calling.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Like, this has always been in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
Like since I was a kid, it's always been in the back of my mind ever since I heard my first like radio show. I don't remember listening to my first radio show, but I just remember there being music all the time. There was
Yeah.
music all the time. And my dad was a drummer in a band. My mom, she used to sing in a band, Christian bands at church,
Hmm.
of course, but still, they were in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, music was just around like my whole life. And I tried picking up instruments. I've tried playing before and stuff like that. But it never really, I always enjoyed listening to it more than more than trying to play it. I felt like when I tried to play it, it just didn't feel, um, it just didn't feel comfortable. Like that wasn't like, no, like you love this, but that's not for you.
Yeah.
That's not for you. And so it always kind of had me a little sad, like, oh, I can never play an instrument, or I can never get myself to take it seriously enough or to put the time in and, pick it up and want to do it.
Sure.
But I've always loved and enjoyed listening to music, and I've always loved speaking to people about music. And one of my favorite things as a kid was hearing the new music. New music. We didn't get it until like months and months later because I'm from a small desert town, um that there's like really nothing there. But yeah, so like when we would get that new music and oh, it's new music Sunday or new music whatever, and then I would listen to Howard Stern, or like Howard Stern whenever we would come up to San Diego. And it's just, I feel like this is my calling,
Yeah.
like like spreading the music and talking to artists and trying to and bringing themselves out, right? And having those musical conversations. um and one of my messages to the world, one of my biggest messages to the world is, guys, if you if you feel so strongly about something, about a passion, right, it's never too late to start. One,
Yeah.
right? It's never too late to start. And dreams only come true, or not, dreams only come true. Dreams only work if you do. So like that's a quote that my aunt actually has in her bathroom that's that's resonate. It's just a sign on the door. It's just or a sign right there on the bathroom. It just says dreams only work if you do. And that's, since I saw that, it's kind of just like been in my mind as well.
Respect.
And yeah, like keep at it, guys. Keep at it. Keep going for your dream. Nobody's gonna be able to do it other than you.
Yeah.
Um, and so what is hope? What is hope's message to the world?
My message would be never give up. I know that's so cliche, but just don't. If you are so passionate about something, then that passion will take you where you need to go. And like you said, you need to not dream it, you need to do it. You need to do it. You don't need to be talking about it, just be about it. Like you got to
That's
put
it right
that
there.
work hard in, got that. It's just, yeah, never give up either. And don't hear the negativity, just block it out, because that tears you down and that will just distract you. Is it worth it? Like, is it worth giving your dream up for what so and so says about you and what they think? No, it's what you think and how you feel. At the end of the day, that's how it is. So just go out there and just give it your all, and don't care about what others have to say about it and hate on it, so because there's going to be people that love it because you're so passionate about it. There's going to be people that love you regardless, because passion is what people want mostly. The talent is a big part as well, but when you're passionate, it comes through in your songs.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's beautiful. And it's something that the whole world, like something like that is something that the whole world needs to hear, right? Um, like, yeah, keep at it, guys. Like I've been, this has been 35 years in the making, you know, and it's finally like, okay, just like excuse me, but shut the fuck up
Yeah.
and just do your shit. Stop talking about it. That was a big thing too for me. Is I would always just talk about, hey, I'm gonna do this. Hey, I'm gonna do this. I had nothing to show for it. Hey, when are you gonna do this? You started like you've been talking about this for a while now. You're gonna start, and
Be about it, you know?
be about it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, like, exactly. Like, I would always say, yeah, I want to pursue music. I'd love to, go play downtown and open mics. And then what? Nothing. Nothing happened until I was like, you know what? I'm going to stop talking about it and I'm going to go do it. I'm going to put my name in and I'm going to sing in front of people. And that's it because this is what I want. And, in your mind, it's so easy to be like, yes, I want to do this. But when you're doing it, it can be hard, but it's so worth it.
It's worth it. And it's it's crazy how things just fall in place when you go for what you actually love and what you feel like what you were meant and what you were called here for.
Yeah.
It's like I'm still a brand new podcast. I'm still a brand new show.
Yeah.
Um, but like I've been getting interviews
Yeah.
left and right. I've been getting people that, because I'm trying to be genuine, right? I'm not just doing it for I'm going through and I'm finding music that I like, that I personally like, not that everybody else likes. I don't know if that makes sense.
And that's
Um,
good. And that's good. Keep
yeah,
doing that.
and it's just I want to talk to people. And like you said earlier, once you find something and like I can't get it out of my head. I'm kind of overbooking right now, to be honest. Like because I'm finding all of this music and I just want to talk to all of these people.
Yeah.
And but like everything is kind of just falling in line with like school and like work and the podcast and it's just everything's just falling in line because I feel because I'm finally you know going out and doing something and actually working for it. So that's amazing. It's beautiful that you also have that that mindset that keep the negativity out, because that's also a big thing for me. Like if you know I don't want to I don't want this to sound bad to the people that I love, but really, like that's how hard that is. That's a big thing I get. You know how hard that is? You know how long that'll take? You know how, yeah, I do. Like
Yeah, and
I
I'm showing up, and
hmm
the thing about that is like you can and people listen to those words too much that they start to doubt themselves.
hmm
And that's
yeah.
the one thing that is a big mistake people do. You have to block that out and you have to be like, I'm going to do this and I'm showing up. I'm putting the work in. And everybody has to start somewhere. Everybody. And you're only going to get bigger and bigger from here on out because you are putting the work in and you are putting that effort in. And they only say that because maybe that's a jealousy strike, or maybe they wanted to do it themselves or do something like that. But they listened to the voices that told them they couldn't do it. So they want to bring down the people that are currently doing it. And that's what you just have to say. Nope, nope. I understand. I understand what you're trying to come across, but this is my life. This is what I want to do. So, because I have people that are close to me and they're very critical of things, but, or, one person is very critical, but you have to just block them, or he, she, whatever. You just have to block it out and continue to do your stuff and grind, 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 grind. So,
Mm. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much, Hope,
Mm-hmm.
for joining us, for joining me in my musical journey and my new podcast journey. We're really trying to spread the music, spread the love, and I really thank you so much for coming on and helping me out. Where can we find your music?
Yeah, so I have a YouTube account and I have TikTok, Instagram. You can follow me, Hope Albornoz. That's Albornoz. Just Hope Albornoz for everything. And when I put my music out on Spotify, hopefully here pretty soon, it's also Hope Albornoz. So everything is just Hope Albornoz.
Right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again for joining us. And I, you're gonna blow up. I know it. It's gonna, your voice is amazing. Your songwriting is amazing. Your sound is amazing. And, I can't wait. I can't wait to see it.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. This was a very needed phone call, and I'm honored to be on your show. So,
Thank you. I really appreciate that. So, how we say at the end, guys, just remember, be safe, be great. Remember, we share because we care. And I hope you all have a great and blessed day. Peace.
bye.